the new God of heaven, the new gods of heaven, the new God of heaven, the new goddess of heaven, the new goddesses of heaven, the new goddess of heaven, the old God of heaven, the old gods of heaven, the old God of heaven, the old goddess of heaven, the old goddesses of heaven, the old goddess of heaven, the greater God of heaven, the greater gods of heaven, the greater God of heaven, the greater goddess of heaven, the greater goddesses of heaven, the greater goddess of heaven, the lesser God of heaven, the lesser gods of heaven, the lesser God of heaven, the lesser goddess of heaven, the lesser goddesses of heaven, the lesser goddess of heaven, the higher God of heaven, the higher gods of heaven, the higher God of heaven, the higher goddess of heaven, the higher goddesses of heaven, the higher goddess of heaven, the lower God of heaven, the lower gods of heaven, the lower God of heaven, the lower goddess of heaven, the lower goddesses of heaven, the lower goddess of heaven, the greater spirit of heaven, the greater spirits of heaven, the greater spirit of heaven, the lesser spirit of heaven, the lesser spirits of heaven, the lesser spirit of heaven, the higher spirit of heaven, the higher spirits of heaven, the higher spirit of heaven, the lower spirit of heaven, the lower spirits of heaven, the lower spirit of heaven, the major God of heaven, the major gods of heaven, the major God of heaven, the major goddess of heaven, the major goddesses of heaven, the major goddess of heaven, the minor God of heaven, the minor gods of heaven, the minor God of heaven, the minor goddess of heaven, the minor goddesses of heaven, the minor goddess of heaven, the superior God of heaven, the superior gods of heaven, the superior God of heaven, the superior goddess of heaven, the superior goddesses of heaven, the superior goddess of heaven, the inferior God of heaven, the inferior gods of heaven, the inferior God of heaven, the inferior goddess of heaven, the inferior goddesses of heaven, the inferior goddess of heaven, the ancestor God of heaven, the ancestor gods of heaven, the ancestor God of heaven, the ancestor goddess of heaven, the ancestor goddesses of heaven, the ancestor goddess of heaven, the ascendant God of heaven, the ascendant gods of heaven, the ascendant God of heaven, the ascendant goddess of heaven, the ascendant goddesses of heaven, the ascendant goddess of heaven, the descendant God of heaven, the descendant gods of heaven, the descendant God of heaven, the descendant goddess of heaven, the descendant goddesses of heaven, the descendant goddess of heaven, the transcendent God of heaven, the transcendent gods of heaven, the transcendent God of heaven, the transcendent goddess of heaven, the transcendent goddesses of heaven, the transcendent goddess of heaven, the past God of heaven, the past gods of heaven, the past God of heaven, the past goddess of heaven, the past goddesses of heaven, the past goddess of heaven, the present God of heaven, the present gods of heaven, the present God of heaven, the present goddess of heaven, the present goddesses of heaven, the present goddess of heaven, the future God of heaven, the future gods of heaven, the future God of heaven, the future goddess of heaven, the future goddesses of heaven, the future goddess of heaven, the authentic God of heaven, the authentic gods of heaven, the authentic God of heaven, the authentic goddess of heaven, the authentic goddesses of heaven, the authentic goddess of heaven, the synthetic God of heaven, the synthetic gods of heaven, the synthetic God of heaven, the synthetic goddess of heaven, the synthetic goddesses of heaven, the synthetic goddess of heaven, the progressive God of heaven, the progressive gods of heaven, the progressive God of heaven, the progressive goddess of heaven, the progressive goddesses of heaven, the progressive goddess of heaven, the regressive God of heaven, the regressive gods of heaven, the regressive God of heaven, the regressive goddess of heaven, the regressive goddesses of heaven, the regressive goddess of heaven, the ordinary God of heaven, the ordinary gods of heaven, the ordinary God of heaven, the ordinary goddess of heaven, the ordinary goddesses of heaven, the ordinary goddess of heaven, the extraordinary God of heaven, the extraordinary gods of heaven, the extraordinary God of heaven, the extraordinary goddess of heaven, the extraordinary goddesses of heaven, the extraordinary goddess of heaven, the static God of heaven, the static gods of heaven, the static God of heaven, the static goddess of heaven, the static goddesses of heaven, the static goddess of heaven, the dynamic God of heaven, the dynamic gods of heaven, the dynamic God of heaven, the dynamic goddess of heaven, the dynamic goddesses of heaven, the dynamic goddess of heaven, the land God of heaven, the land gods of heaven, the land God of heaven, the land goddess of heaven, the land goddesses of heaven, the land goddess of heaven, the sea God of heaven, the sea gods of heaven, the sea God of heaven, the sea goddess of heaven, the sea goddesses of heaven, the sea goddess of heaven, the sky God of heaven, the sky gods of heaven, the sky God of heaven, the sky goddess of heaven, the sky goddesses of heaven, the sky goddess of heaven, the God of heaven, the gods of heaven, the God of heaven, the goddess of heaven, the goddesses of heaven, the goddess of heaven, the half God of heaven, the half gods of heaven, the half God of heaven, the half goddess of heaven, the half goddesses of heaven, the half goddess of heaven, the vessel of heaven, the vessels of heaven, the vessel of heaven, the name of heaven, the names of heaven, the name of heaven, the person of heaven, the persons of heaven, the person of heaven, the persona of heaven, the personas of heaven, the persona of heaven, the personage of heaven, the personages of heaven, the personage of heaven, the personality of heaven, the personalities of heaven, the personality of heaven, the personification of heaven, the personifications of heaven, the personification of heaven, the image of heaven, the images of heaven, the image of heaven, the imagination of heaven, the imaginations of heaven, the imagination of heaven, the belief of heaven, the beliefs of heaven, the belief of heaven, the thought of heaven, the thoughts of heaven, the thought of heaven, the word of heaven, the words of heaven, the word of heaven, the action of heaven, the actions of heaven, the action of heaven, the reaction of heaven, the reactions of heaven, the reaction of heaven, the feeling of heaven, the feelings of heaven, the feeling of heaven, the situation of heaven, the situations of heaven, the situation of heaven, the circumstance of heaven, the circumstances of heaven, the circumstance of heaven, the environment of heaven, the environments of heaven, the environment of heaven, the relationship of heaven, the relationships of heaven, the relationship of heaven, the number of heaven, the numbers of heaven, the number of heaven, the formula of heaven, the formulas of heaven, the formula of heaven, the equation of heaven, the equations of heaven, the equation of heaven, the theory of heaven, the theories of heaven, the theory of heaven, the symbol of heaven, the symbols of heaven, the symbol of heaven, the color of heaven, the colors of heaven, the color of heaven, the thing of heaven, the things of heaven, the thing of heaven, the way of heaven, the ways of heaven, the way of heaven, the place of heaven, the places of heaven, the place of heaven, the time of heaven, the times of heaven, the time of heaven, the event of heaven, the events of heaven, the event of heaven, the result of heaven, the results of heaven, the result of heaven, the crown of heaven, the crowns of heaven, the crown of heaven, the throne of heaven, the thrones of heaven, the throne of heaven, the heaven king, the heaven kings, the heaven kingdom, the heaven kingdoms, the heaven king subject, the heaven king subjects, the heaven king's dominion, the heaven king's dominions, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdoms of heaven, the kingdom of heaven, the heaven queen, the heaven queens, the heaven queendom, the heaven queendoms, the heaven queen subject, the heaven queen subjects, the heaven queen's dominion, the heaven queen's dominions, the queendom of heaven, the queendoms of heaven, the queendom of heaven, the heaven prince, the heaven princes, the heaven princedom, the heaven princedoms, the heaven prince's subject, the heaven prince's subjects, the heaven prince's dominion, the heaven prince's dominions, the princedom of heaven, the princedoms of heaven, the princedom of heaven, the heaven princess, the heaven princesses, the heaven princessdom, the heaven princessdoms, the heaven princess's subject, the heaven princess's subjects, the heaven princess's dominion, the heaven princess's dominions, the princessdom of heaven, the princessdoms of heaven, the princessdom of heaven, the Lord of heaven, the lords of heaven, the Lord of heaven, the lordess of heaven, the lordesses of heaven, the lordess of heaven, the priest of heaven, the priests of heaven, the priest of heaven, the priestess of heaven, the priestesses of heaven, the priestess of heaven, the ritual of heaven, the rituals of heaven, the ritual of heaven, the shrine of heaven, the shrines of heaven, the shrine of heaven, the temple of heaven, the temples of heaven, the temple of heaven, the leader of heaven, the leaders of heaven, the leader of heaven, the follower of heaven, the followers of heaven, the follower of heaven, the natural substance of heaven, the natural substances of heaven, the natural substance of heaven, the supernatural substance of heaven, the supernatural substances of heaven, the supernatural substance of heaven, the temporal substance of heaven, the temporal substances of heaven, the temporal substance of heaven, the spiritual substance of heaven, the spiritual substances of heaven, the spiritual substance of heaven, the natural form of heaven, the natural forms of heaven, the natural form of heaven, the supernatural form of heaven, the supernatural forms of heaven, the supernatural form of heaven, the temporal form of heaven, the temporal forms of heaven, the temporal form of heaven, the spiritual form of heaven, the spiritual forms of heaven, the spiritual form of heaven, the age of heaven, the ages of heaven, the age of heaven, the era of heaven, the heiress of heaven, the era of heaven, the awakener of heaven, the awakeners of heaven, the awakener of heaven, the awakening of heaven, the awakenings of heaven, the awakening of heaven, the realm of heaven, the realms of heaven, the realm of heaven, the dimension of heaven, the dimensions of heaven, the dimension of heaven, the zone of heaven, the zones of heaven, the zone of heaven, the frequency of heaven, the frequencies of heaven, the frequency of heaven, the century of heaven, the centuries of heaven, the century of heaven, the millennium of heaven, the millenniums of heaven, the millennium of heaven, the purpose of heaven, the purposes of heaven, the purpose of heaven, the meaning of heaven, the meanings of heaven, the meaning of heaven, the culture of heaven, the cultures of heaven, the culture of heaven, the demonstrator of heaven, the demonstrators of heaven, the demonstrator of heaven, the demonstration of heaven, the demonstrations of heaven, the demonstration of heaven, the manifester of heaven, the manifestors of heaven, the manifester of heaven, the manifestation of heaven, the manifestations of heaven, the manifestation of heaven, the presence of heaven, the presences of heaven, the presence of heaven, the glow of heaven, the glows of heaven, the glow of heaven, the goal of heaven, the goals of heaven, the goal of heaven, the plan of heaven, the plans of heaven, the plan of heaven, the book of heaven, the books of heaven, the book of heaven, the philosopher of heaven, the philosophers of heaven, the philosopher of heaven, the philosophy of heaven, the philosophies of heaven, the philosophy of heaven, the releaser of heaven, the releasers of heaven, the releaser of heaven, the release of heaven, the releases of heaven, the release of heaven, the variable of heaven, the variables of heaven, the variable of heaven, the cause of heaven, the causes of heaven, the cause of heaven, the effect of heaven, the effects of heaven, the effect of heaven, the journey of heaven, the journeys of heaven, the journey of heaven, the emergence of heaven, the emergences of heaven, the emergence of heaven, the source of heaven, the sources of heaven, the source of heaven, the originator of heaven, the originators of heaven, the originator of heaven, the origin of heaven, the origins of heaven, the origin of heaven, the forefather of heaven, the forefathers of heaven, the forefather of heaven, the foremother of heaven, the foremothers of heaven, the foremother of heaven, the ancestor of heaven, the ancestors of heaven, the ancestor of heaven, the descendant of heaven, the descendants of heaven, the descendant of heaven, the lineage of heaven, the lineages of heaven, the lineage of heaven, the heritage of heaven, the heritages of heaven, the heritage of heaven, the heir of heaven, the heirs of heaven, the heir of heaven, the co-heir of heaven, the co-heirs of heaven, the co-heir of heaven, the joint heir of heaven, the joint heirs of heaven, the joint heir of heaven, the dynasty of heaven, the dynasties of heaven, the dynasty of heaven, the force of heaven, the forces of heaven, the force of heaven, the law of heaven, the laws of heaven, the law of heaven, the pact of heaven, the pacts of heaven, the pact of heaven, the game of heaven, the games of heaven, the game of heaven, the mask of heaven, the masks of heaven, the mask of heaven, the armor of heaven, the armors of heaven, the armor of heaven, the sword of heaven, the swords of heaven, the sword of heaven, the shield of heaven, the shields of heaven, the shield of heaven, the force shield of heaven, the force shields of heaven, the force shield of heaven, the armored force shield of heaven, the armored force shields of heaven, the armored force shield of heaven, the champion of heaven, the champions of heaven, the champion of heaven, the guardian of heaven, the guardians of heaven, the guardian of heaven, the defender of heaven, the defenders of heaven, the defender of heaven, the protector of heaven, the protectors of heaven, the protector of heaven, the chant of heaven, the chants of heaven, the chant of heaven, the shape of heaven, the shapes of heaven, the shape of heaven, the cube of heaven, the cubes of heaven, the cube of heaven, the cuboid of heaven, the cuboids of heaven, the cuboid of heaven, the sphere of heaven, the spheres of heaven, the sphere of heaven, the spheroid of heaven, the spheroids of heaven, the spheroid of heaven, the prism of heaven, the prisms of heaven, the prism of heaven, the pyramid of heaven, the pyramids of heaven, the pyramid of heaven, the cylinder of heaven, the cylinders of heaven, the cylinder of heaven, the cone of heaven, the cones of heaven, the cone of heaven, the triangle of heaven, the triangles of heaven, the triangle of heaven, the circle of heaven, the circles of heaven, the circle of heaven, the semicircle of heaven, the semicircles of heaven, the semicircle of heaven, the square of heaven, the squares of heaven, the square of heaven, the rectangle of heaven, the rectangles of heaven, the rectangle of heaven, the parallelogram of heaven, the parallelograms of heaven, the parallelogram of heaven, the rhombus of heaven, the rhombuses of heaven, the rhombus of heaven, the trapezoid of heaven, the trapezoids of heaven, the trapezoid of heaven, the polygon of heaven, the polygons of heaven, the polygon of heaven, the pentagon of heaven, the pentagons of heaven, the pentagon of heaven, the hexagon of heaven, the hexagons of heaven, the hexagon of heaven, the septagon of heaven, the septagons of heaven, the septagon of heaven, the octagon of heaven, the octagons of heaven, the octagon of heaven, the nonagon of heaven, the nonagons of heaven, the nonagon of heaven, the decagon of heaven, the decagons of heaven, the decagon of heaven, the evolution of heaven, the evolutions of heaven, the evolution of heaven, the revolution of heaven, the revolutions of heaven, the revolution of heaven, the elemental art of heaven, the elemental arts of heaven, the elemental art of heaven, the elemental science of heaven, the elemental sciences of heaven, the elemental science of heaven, the elemental principle of heaven, the elemental principles of heaven, the elemental principle of heaven, the elemental technology of heaven, the elemental technologies of heaven, the elemental technology of heaven, the low elemental art of heaven, the low elemental arts of heaven, the low elemental art of heaven, the low elemental science of heaven, the low elemental sciences of heaven, the low elemental science of heaven, the low elemental principle of heaven, the low elemental principles of heaven, the low elemental principle of heaven, the low elemental technology of heaven, the low elemental technologies of heaven, the low elemental technology of heaven, the high elemental art of heaven, the high elemental arts of heaven, the high elemental art of heaven, the high elemental science of heaven, the high elemental sciences of heaven, the high elemental science of heaven, the high elemental principle of heaven, the high elemental principles of heaven, the high elemental principle of heaven, the high elemental technology of heaven, the high elemental technologies of heaven, the high elemental technology of heaven, the agent of heaven, the agents of heaven, the agent of heaven, the agency of heaven, the agencies of heaven, the agency of heaven, the amplifier of heaven, the amplifiers of heaven, the amplifier of heaven, the amplification of heaven, the amplifications of heaven, the amplification of heaven, the enhancer of heaven, the enhancers of heaven, the enhancer of heaven, the enhancement of heaven, the enhancements of heaven, the enhancement of heaven, the magnifier of heaven, the magnifiers of heaven, the magnifier of heaven, the magnification of heaven, the magnifications of heaven, the magnification of heaven, the influencer of heaven, the influencers of heaven, the influencer of heaven, the influence of heaven, the influences of heaven, the influence of heaven, the emanator of heaven, the emanators of heaven, the emanator of heaven, the emanation of heaven, the emanations of heaven, the emanation of heaven, the converger of heaven, the convergers of heaven, the converger of heaven, the convergence of heaven, the convergences of heaven, the convergence of heaven, the aura of heaven, the auras of heaven, the aura of heaven, the impression of heaven, the impressions of heaven, the impression of heaven, the intelligence of heaven, the intelligences of heaven, the intelligence of heaven, the sophistication of heaven, the sophistications of heaven, the sophistication of heaven, the genius of heaven, the geniuses of heaven, the genius of heaven, the polymath of heaven, the polymaths of heaven, the polymath of heaven, the psychic of heaven, the psychics of heaven, the psychic of heaven, the knowledge of heaven, the knowledges of heaven, the knowledge of heaven, the understanding of heaven, the understandings of heaven, the understanding of heaven, the wisdom of heaven, the wisdoms of heaven, the wisdom of heaven, the secret of heaven, the secrets of heaven, the secret of heaven, the mystery of heaven, the mysteries of heaven, the mystery of heaven, the revelation of heaven, the revelations of heaven, the revelation of heaven, the tactic of heaven, the tactics of heaven, the tactic of heaven, the strategy of heaven, the strategies of heaven, the strategy of heaven, the strength of heaven, the strengths of heaven, the strength of heaven, the might of heaven, the mights of heaven, the might of heaven, the power of heaven, the powers of heaven, the power of heaven, the authority of heaven, the authorities of heaven, the authority of heaven, the dominion of heaven, the dominions of heaven, the dominion of heaven, the rhythm of heaven, the rhythms of heaven, the rhythm of heaven, the melody of heaven, the melodies of heaven, the melody of heaven, the music of heaven, the musics of heaven, the music of heaven, the lyric of heaven, the lyrics of heaven, the lyric of heaven, the song of heaven, the songs of heaven, the song of heaven, the dance of heaven, the dances of heaven, the dance of heaven, the spirit of heaven, the spirits of heaven, the spirit of heaven, the soul of heaven, the souls of heaven, the soul of heaven, the body of heaven, the bodies of heaven, the body of heaven, the mark of heaven, the marks of heaven, the mark of heaven, the promise of heaven, the promises of heaven, the promise of heaven, the visionary of heaven, the visionaries of heaven, the visionary of heaven, the vision of heaven, the visions of heaven, the vision of heaven, the picture of heaven, the pictures of heaven, the picture of heaven, the sound of heaven, the sounds of heaven, the sound of heaven, the tongue of heaven, the tongues of heaven, the tongue of heaven, the language of heaven, the languages of heaven, the language of heaven, the communication of heaven, the communications of heaven, the communication of heaven, the people of heaven, the peoples of heaven, the people of heaven, the society of heaven, the societies of heaven, the society of heaven, the fortress of heaven, the fortresses of heaven, the fortress of heaven, the government of heaven, the governments of heaven, the government of heaven, the city of heaven, the cities of heaven, the city of heaven, the nation of heaven, the nations of heaven, the nation of heaven, the civilization of heaven, the civilizations of heaven, the civilization of heaven, the world of heaven, the worlds of heaven, the world of heaven,